Hey guys, today we are doing a vampire nail design that I'm recreating from Sean Pham. Join me! Hey guys, a couple of things. Some parts of this video, like right here, are going to be extremely fast because I was trying out a new editing software. And so when I went to reroute the video through my old editing software to fix some other things, I had to adjust the speed and it combined the videos together so I could no longer see which were part different sections. So when I went to increase the speed to make the video not as long, some things wound up becoming 4 times fast while other things became 2 times fast. So you're going to see some ups and downs in this, and I am not a skilled editor as of yet. So sorry about that. So some things are going to be extremely fast. Right here, I'm just going to be applying the soft gel tips that I got, I believe, off of Amazon. I will try to leave a link in the description for all the products that I used today in this video. I am going to be using my Lily Gel More Base. This was my first time using this base. It's a potted gel by Lily Gel, a clear gel. My impressions of it, I actually really liked it. It's a very natural feeling light base, much along the lines of Cocoist or something like that. So if you like those very natural feeling soft gel Japanese potted gels, this is another one to have in your arsenal. Lily Gel Base and More Base, something like that. On this purchase, I also purchased a liner brush from Lily Gel that I'm very happy with. It's the Kai x Lily Gel liner brush. And I actually checked out, a lot of times you don't realize, but these collaborations are with actual YouTube nail artists. Kai is a nail artist on YouTube, so if you want to check out his channel, does very good work. So anyway, here I am applying the color. This was one of the parts that was slower because it wasn't speeded up. So anyway, you know what I'm saying. So I'm applying my base color here. This is going to be, most of the nail art on this set is geometric. We're going to be doing a bloody rose and a set of vampire teeth. So the vampire teeth are going to be on the middle finger and the bloody rose are going to be on the ring finger. And the accent fingers are going to be the index and pinky, of course. And that's going to have the geometric designs. And as you can see on my thumb, that's going to be like a bat wing heart, which I love, but it all ties into vampirism, so it makes it a cohesive design. Anyway, we're going to be doing a lot of lining, so make sure that you grab your best liner brushes for a design like this. Another little tip that I can give you is when you're lining, if at all possible, if you don't have anything else going on like pigment powder and whatever, go ahead and put a matte top coat down before you line the nails, because that's going to give your brush a little bit more stability and you won't get that flying out in all kind of directions. You know how you're like, your little hand is shaking trying to get that straight line on there and you're just concentrating so hard. Well, matte top will stop that brush from sliding around on that nail. If you notice, when you have a gloss top coat, the brush will slide around. So if you can, if there are no other designs that warrant you to have a gloss top, for instance, if I was putting pigment powder on only certain parts of this nail, I would need to cover the nail in gloss top so that the pigment powder wouldn't adhere to the matte top and then it would mess my design up. I'm not doing that here, so I can go ahead and put a matte top down and then line. A little thing about these brushes that I'm using right here, they come in a kit, not a kit, but they come in a group. You get, I think, 4 or 5 of them off of Amazon. They're very cheap. I believe I paid $5.49 for these brushes, and these are my go-to art brushes. These are some of the best nail brushes that I have ever used before, and yes, they were $5.49. I will leave a link in the description to Amazon. You have to have these brushes. It's amazing. Like, I literally looked all over for these brushes because I happened to have a one that I had gotten in a cheap kit somewhere. They gave it as a free brush, and I was like, and I used this brush for like 2 years, and it was my go-to painting brush for gels. Well, I was like, you know, this looks kind of like those brushes on Amazon. So I looked everywhere to try to find different sizes of this brush because it worked so well. And lo and behold, I found them, and for very cheap. Sometimes you don't have to pay millions of dollars to have good nail tools. Sometimes it just simply is a luck of the find, and this is one of those things. So definitely, if you get a chance to check these nail brushes out, even if you don't like them, it's not going to hurt your pocketbook. Again, I am not sponsored by any of the products on this video. This is all stuff that I like and use and pay my own money for. So just a little tip about the nail brushes. You can get them for cheap, and they work really well with gels. So I haven't tested them with acrylic or gouache or anything like that. So, but for gel paints and polish, they work really well. Please forgive me if you hear like heavy breathing throughout any of my videos. I'm going to apologize ahead of time. I have very large sinuses. I went to the specialist because I've been in and out of the specialist office for the past couple of months, but that's a whole nother story for another time with my illness. Still trying to get a diagnosis, but anyway. And come to find out, I have these huge sinuses, so that's why you can often hear me breathing really heavy in my videos. It's because my sinuses are so like inflamed all the time and so small that it's hard for me to get air in and out of my nose without having a lot of noise. So there's that. Anyway, I'm starting on the vampire teeth here, and what I'm doing is I'm setting up the lines that are going to be in the teeth. I'm laying down like a foundation so that these teeth are perfectly proportioned. One thing about teeth is with this, it really wouldn't matter so much because it's a Halloween design. So it could be broken teeth and lopsided and whatnot. But I still wanted it, again, because it has a lot of geometrical designs. I wanted the teeth to be, you know, very proportioned and lined up. Alrighty, so, I'm going ahead, and the paints that I'm using, by the way, right here, I believe I'm using my Valentino black gel polish, or I might be using, no, I'm using gel paint. I'm sorry. If I'm doing lines, I'm using gel paint, just so that I can have a straighter line. So in this particular set, I'm going to be using my Zillabeau Black Metallic Effect gel paint. For the red, I am using my Valentino Chelly's Nails gel paint in red. I don't know what the actual name or the number is, but I'll put a link in the description, like I said, to all the reds. Actually, I'm sorry, this might be my Madam Glam. I'll put a link to all of the products, or at least I'll put a list of all the products I used in the description of the video. So anyway, as you can see here, I went ahead and filled in all the lines, and I just basically did some straight teeth and then did the eye teeth, kind of like fangs with some slanted lines, just keeping it very geometric. One tip that I can give you when doing eyes or teeth or anything that you have pairs of, work on them both at the same time. So in other words, if you're doing a set of eyes, work on the left and the right at the same time. If you're going to do a little bit of the left, then jump over and do a little bit of the right in the same area. This will allow you to get more of a mirror image of each other. The longer the time you spend off of that object, so in other words, if I was to paint all of the left eye and then go to the right, my brain is already forgetting what I've done in the left. So that's just something to think about. Oh, I'm getting out of breath already. Okay, so I'm just filling in the lips here. And again, using that same polish. And You can't tell, but what I'm trying to do here is okay, and so I popped off and finished it. Sorry about that. I had to cut that bit out because I was so out of frame. There was a lot of areas in this video where I was out of frame, so I'm just going to apologize for any areas that I cut out. I'm trying to put a little bit of blood on the teeth, and I decided against it, I believe, in the end, because I felt like it just made it look like I was messy at painting, so I said, yeah, I don't think we're going to do that. But anyway, I'm trying to make sure that all of my fingers, the horizontal lines, are kind of lined up. So even though I'm working on the vampire teeth, I kind of want the bottom of the black area, like the inside of the mouth, to end where the black area on the index finger ends. I don't know if that makes sense, but you see how it has a little box on the index finger? Where that bottom of that box at the top ends is where the inside of that mouth, that top line on that bottom set of teeth, is going to end. Just so that when they're next to each other, they look more symmetrical. It's all about symmetry when you're doing a lot of line work. You want your lines to be as symmetrical as possible in every way that you look at them. You want them to be the same shape. You don't want to have these wildly thick black lines on the vampire teeth and then have these skinny little black lines on the accent nails. You want everything to be one cohesive design, and you want your lines to be the same as much as possible. Now, if you are a beginner at this and you find this to be very, very complicated, another little trick that I can tell you about is having a cleaner brush. And for me, cleaner brushes are always too fat, so I cut mine down to make it extremely skinny. That way you can get in between the tiny little areas of your design and clean up whatever you need to clean up. In the beginning, before I could pull a straight line, and I say pull because that is exactly what you do, is you pull a line. You're not painting it, you're not brushing it, you are pulling the paint to fall into place in a straight line. The more you work with gel, you will understand what I mean by that. So here I am pulling a line at the bottom. I continue to go over the same line a few times depending on how thick I want this line to be. If I want it to be extremely thin, I will go over it once, maybe twice, to make sure that the entire line is straight. Or I will go back with my cleaner brush and clean up the areas by, again, pulling the gel into the areas it needs to be, but not using gel paint, using alcohol or whatever you use to clean up with. It could be acetone, alcohol, what have you. And then dip your brush in it, wipe it off a little bit so that it's not going to douse the nail, because you don't want it to wash away the rest of the paint. You just want a damp brush that isn't going to really put any liquid on the nail. You just want it to be able to take off liquid and push the puddle of paint that is in the wrong area into the correct area. I'm going to do a video on line work with you guys and give you all my tips and tricks coming soon. I wanted to apologize also because I was supposed to do a 25 days of Halloween or 30 days of Halloween. That got messed up because my dad winded up having cardiac arrest. So this entire month we've been back and forth to the hospital trying to take care of him. It's been really scary and a very upsetting situation. As you know, I have 2 boys and they love their grandfather dearly. One is 8 and the other is 15. So 16, I'm sorry. I always forget he's getting so big. But anyway, so it's just been, you know, a really rough time, and so I have not had time to create content the way I wanted to. This was supposed to be one of my big breakout times. By doing this, I was gonna, you know, really get the algorithm going with my channel. So we'll have to do it for Christmas. Those of you that have been with me since the beginning, I appreciate you being a subscriber. Those of you that have just happened to find my channel, I appreciate my subscribers so much, and I would greatly appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to my channel just so that I can get my artwork out there more. I have dreams of down the road having my own nail school and products and the whole shebang, but that's further down the road. I am in the New Orleans area, so, and we need a good nail school down here. So, anyway, I greatly appreciate it, and don't forget to hit that thumbs up if you like this video. This is not the norm for my videos. I usually have a more educated basis or formula to my videos. This video is kind of wild and all over the place because of the situation going on, but also because I wasn't able to edit it correctly, so a lot of things are cut out, and it's like, you know, I'll have like just a box, and then the next shot or the next frame will be, you know, the whole pictures in the nails. So I'm just kind of doing just a glaze over of these nails. Like, again, as you can see, this one is way out of focus. It's very far away, unfortunately. This was filmed, I believe, on another day, so things were a little bit different, and I think I realized it, and then I fixed it to make it clearer. Again, I was using 2 different editing apps, trying a new one out, so this was probably not the best time to do that, and I was trying to make the picture better by enhancing the high definition of it. Anyway, you don't want to know about all that. Here we're doing a rose. You're going to paint a black background, and you are not going to cure it, or you're going to use Blossom Gel. Either one. I prefer to use Blossom Gel, so what I did was I painted a black background, I cured it, put some Blossom Gel, and then I did the one-stroke method on this. I'll have a future video on the one-stroke technique. I did black on one side, white on the other, obviously. And I just went around the nail. The reason I am starting with black is because I'm going to be putting a red jelly gel over this to make the white red, and then the black will look like a dark crimson part of the rose or shadow. I saw this technique done. I cannot remember what video I saw this in, but it was an amazing technique for roses that I saw, and it makes them look so realistic. So that's why I had looked for a good way to do roses, and I felt like this was the most successful way of getting a realistic looking rose. So in a future video, this will be an entire video on roses and how to make them look realistic, and doing 3D ones and acrylic and all that, but for a later time. Anyway, so yeah, here's the red. I'm using my Valentino Noodle Yes collection with the red, and going over that, so then all of a sudden you have highlights and shadows, and you didn't have to do anything because you already did all the highlights and shadows. You're just going over with the color. That's what I thought made this technique so unique, because for me, one of the things that I hate is trying to figure out where the highlights and shadows go when we're doing realistic work. So this takes some of the guesswork out of that. Here I am painting the accent nails. This is the pinky. And after this, I'm going to be applying some rhinestones. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the rest, you know, let you go ahead and watch the rest, because it's pretty much self-explanatory the rest of the way. And the next video that I have coming out today will be my birthday set of nails, because Halloween is my birthday, and it will be much more in depth. I promise I will take it very slow for my beginners and go into, you know, how you do this and how you do that. Yes, we will. I think I'm going to do them on tips so that I'm able to do that a little bit easier. I'm very out of frame here. I apologize for that. I thought I edited it all out, but I apparently didn't.